Thinking back to your work and your career, what would you say is your favorite mistake?
Well, there are many, too many to to recall. But so one mistake I made, which actually ended up being, I learned from it, was a positive, was it wasn't that long ago, to be honest. I had a dissertation student, and one of the members of her committee was a new assistant professor who was I thought, unduly critical of my dissertation student's proposal and was kind of not really in line with the department standards. She was being, I thought, too stringent, and she didn't pass my dissertation student. And so afterward, we were having a meeting with my dissertation student and this new assistant professor. And I was pretty passionate about saying how I thought, actually that there were some mistakes that maybe needed to be rectified, but I really thought that maybe she was demanding too much. And then I get a email from the department chair saying, "Kristin, would you mind coming in with me and speaking me to him for a moment?" And apparently everyone in the hall could hear me talking to her. I didn't realize I was being so passionate that my voice was carrying, and I think I was a little more passionate that I had intended, especially for a new assistant professor. So in other words, I got a little carried away in defense of my student. I was really kind of mama bear. And so the very next day we had our little department meeting. It's actually the area of our department. And I went in, and the first thing I said was, "I am so sorry." I gave a really public apology to her. I said, "I'm so sorry. I know position of power. I really shouldn't have raised my voice. I'm sorry if I scared you. If anyone in the hall, any students, anyone here felt at all uncomfortable, I really apologize. Mea culpa. I got too passionate and kind of protection over my student. Please forgive me." And everyone looked, was like, "Whoa." Like they aren't used to someone being so outwardly apologetic. And it actually turned out that afterward, first of all, I think it let the assistant professor off the hook, because if someone with more senior could make such a mistake and apologize, well, that gave her permission to make mistakes and apologize. I think everyone was kind of, because everyone's done it, right? Everyone's had those moments where you get a little too heated, a little too passionate, and maybe you're a little intimidating to people. And so we ended up having actually a really nice discussion on the role of even anger at work, what happens when we feel really strongly about things. And so, in other words, it was a mistake, but it turned out to be a learning experience. And it's also kind of linked to my book, Fierce Self-Compassion, because I wasn't being so much self-compassionate, but I was being protective. So my fierceness was in protection of my dissertation student. But sometimes fierceness can, if it's not combined with enough tenderness, if it's not balanced, it can come off as scary or aggressive if people don't really know what you're coming from. So it was at that time when I was also working on that book, and it was a really good story for that. And anyway, so that's just one of the examples of, if you make a mistake I find in a workplace context, and you apologize for it in a way that's very inclusive and that's humble, and that kind of says, "Hey, this happened. Please forgive me." But you do it not with your head held in shame, but kind of like, "I'm a human being. I make mistakes." Then it actually can give other people permission to be human as well.